Hey everyone, this is Maddie. Today I'm filming a video that was requested. I'll be sharing information on how I got into Columbia University, Northwestern University, Boston University, as well as several other schools and conservatories. I'll be sharing details about my GPA, my extracurriculars in and out of school, ACT, AP scores, what I submitted, what I didn't submit, the type of counseling I received from my school, and how I approached essay writing. Before I start, I want to give a few disclaimers as to the content in this video. First of all, because I applied as a music major to several conservatories or as a double major with a music application to several schools, my application process was, in general, pretty unique to your more traditional path. So if anyone wants more information on my music applications, how I approached that side of my college app process, then please let me know and I would be happy to make another video sharing information about that. But in this video, I'm probably going to focus more on things like GPA and extracurriculars and more so what I submitted in my main common app. My second disclaimer is, as I said before, my own college application process was very unique to my situation, so please take this video with a grain of salt and not as a sort of roadmap or guideline as to what you should do or what you need to do to get into top colleges. Okay, let's get into the details. So for starters, I went to Stanford University's online high school, which is a pre-college program for students from the 7th to 12th grade. I'll share more information below where you can check out the school's website and see if that's something you might be interested in doing or applying to. I had access to incredible resources and to an incredible college counseling system, which I know is something that not every student has the ability to access. So I had several incredible teachers who were willing to write letters of recommendations for me, and I had a fabulous college counselor who went through every single essay that I wrote with me multiple times. So if that is a resource that you have access to at your school, make sure to take advantage of it and to utilize it. So now I'm going to go into more detail about my GPA and my AP scores and things like that. So if I'm looking off screen, it's because I have a computer up with a lot of information about things I submitted. I submitted my high school transcript, which included my grades for freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and the courses that I was in progress with at the time. So my school does unweighted GPA. Our GPA can go from 0 to 4.0. In grade 9, I ended up having a GPA of 3.93. In 10th grade, I had a 4.06. In 11th grade, I had a 4.0. So I ended up submitting a cumulative GPA of 3.9967. So during my high school years, I maintained straight A's, except for one B+ in an English class I took in my freshman year during the fall semester. Then later, as a sophomore, I was able to receive 2 A+, one in my Chinese 2 class, and then one in my AP Calculus AB class. Over the course of 4 years, I believe I took 7 AP classes. In freshman year, I took AP United States History. Sophomore year, I took AP Language and Composition and AP Calculus AB. My junior year, I took AP Literature and Composition. Then in my senior year, I took AP Chinese Language and Culture, AP Statistics, AP Music Theory. I did take a lot of classes that were equivalent to AP credit or university credit. Something unique about Stanford OHS's curriculum is that they don't prioritize APs. In fact, we don't really consider AP scores to be that important anyways. So this is why when I was taking classes, a lot of classes I took, they were taught at a level equivalent to AP or an advanced course taught at a post-AP or early college level. So I was able to graduate with some university credits that weren't from AP scores. Some of these courses included some core classes as well as a semester-long university number theory course that I took. I ended up only taking 4 AP tests because I'm not the best test taker, and I really don't think it's a super accurate way to measure someone's knowledge and the amount that they learn. And I submitted 3 scores to my college applications, which were AP United States History, AP Language and Composition, and AP Literature and Composition. So I had 5s on all 3 of those tests, and those were the only 3 I ended up submitting. Moving on to more standardized testing. So I took the ACT. I didn't take the SAT, I only took the ACT. And I took it twice throughout my high school years. So I took it fairly back to back because during the time the pandemic hit, I wasn't able to do any testing. So I waited until the spring semester of my junior year to take my first test. I don't remember the exact breakdown, but my overall score was a 32. I did a really intense studying session over the next few months and over the summer leading up to the second and last time I took the test. If anyone wants strategies on how I studied for the ACT and improved my score, then let me know. But anyways, I took the test again in September of my senior year. Luckily, my studying paid off, and after my second ACT, I was able to bring my composite score up to a 34, and I have the breakdown for this test. So I ended up with a 32 in my math score, a 33 in my science score, a 36 in my English, a 36 in my reading score, and I had a 10 on my writing score, and the 10 was from the first time I took the test, and I didn't want to retake that one. A lot of schools that I applied to were conservatories, so they flat out didn't want the ACT or didn't really care if I submitted it. So for some conservatories like Royal College of Music or the Juilliard School, I don't think I ended up submitting any test scores to them at all. For schools like Columbia, Northwestern, and Boston University, which had the option to submit it, so it was optional testing, I still decided to submit my test scores since they turned out pretty well and I was really happy with them. Okay, now I'm going to get into my list of extracurriculars that I did in and out of school. So I did have to make an official resume, so I had both a regular resume as a college applicant and an artistic resume, which gave information in my work as a musician. Before I get into the resume though, I think it's important to share the majors that I applied as and what I was accepted as. So for all of my conservatories, I was accepted as a voice performance and opera major. For schools like Columbia University, I was asked to put down 3 majors. So the first one I put was English literature or creative writing. The second one I put was political science, and the third one I put was East Asian studies. For Northwestern University, I applied as a dual major. So I applied to the Beanan School of Music as a voice performance major, and I applied to the Weinberg School of the Arts and Sciences as an English major, and I was accepted into both programs. For Boston University, I was accepted into the College of Fine Arts. So for school activities, I'm going to be reading from a list off my computer. For clubs and leadership, I led a club called the OHS Salon Club, which was sort of an online museum where students could share whatever projects they were working on at my school in front of various students and faculty. I led a political science club called Culture, History, and Civics from 2020 to 2022, and this club did a lot of work, especially around the election period, hosting lots of informative talks and sessions for students to come and learn and to support each other during what was a nerve-wracking period for a lot of students. I co-led a club called the Asian Pacific American Student Union with my best friend who's actually going to Brown University, and she and I led this club for 1 year together. I worked on Stanford OHS's publication, which is called the Pixel Journal. So this was sort of an online magazine type of newspaper thing. So I was a contributor during my 4 years at the school. Then I became an editor for the culture column from 2020 to 2021. And then during my senior year, I was the assistant editor-in-chief. Similar to that, I was also part of our school's literature club, both as a contributor and as a copy editor for all 4 years. Then my school had something called the OHS Pixelate, which was similar to the salon idea, but just in terms of sharing art online and creating a sort of online art museum. So I was a contributor to that for 2 years. I was a teaching assistant for AP Calculus AB from 2020 to 2021, and a teaching assistant for a course called Single Variable Calculus during my senior year. So I was a TA to the same wonderful professor over the course of 2 years, and the second year I was her TA, she created a course called Single Variable Calculus, which is very similar to Calculus AB and BC, except it's more of a combined course that moves through the information both mathematically and historically. From my sophomore to my senior year, I was a student ambassador, and I helped out at several events and meeting new students and parents who were interested in the school or who had been accepted at the school. I was also a peer tutor for Honors Pre-Calculus and Trigonometry, AP United States History, a sophomore level writing course called Modes of Writing and Argumentation, Whenever I was not TAing AP Calculus, I was peer tutoring it. I also peer tutored all of the Chinese courses available at our school, except the one that I was taking at the time, which was AP Chinese. I also received several amazing awards and honors while I was a student at the school. So the first one was an all-school award for my AP United States History class, which I received as a freshman. I was also a guest performer at our high school's commencement ceremony, which was held at the Memorial Hall on Stanford University's campus. In my junior year, I received another prestigious award from my school, which was called the Junior Book Award, and it's an award given to very few juniors in their class. Our school also has an academic journal called De Novo, and it typically publishes upperclassmen students at the school, and it focuses on academic work that students have been doing throughout their courses. I was a featured writer in 2021 during my junior year when I was taking AP Literature and Composition, and I wrote a piece related to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and I was able to have that published in the journal. I was also nominated to attend the National Association of Independent Schools, otherwise known as NAIS, which is a student diversity and leadership conference, and I was a representative student leader during 2021. The last academic award I put down was Advanced Placement Scholar, which is an award I got in 2021 from College Board. Other awards that I received related to music, so I listed them on my resume, and they included being a finalist for the 2019 to 2020 Donald W. Woods Senior Vocal Competition, which was hosted by the New Orleans Opera Association. During 2020, I competed in the National Association of Teachers of Singing competition called NATS, which is a very prestigious competition for young singers. So I placed first for the Southern region in the musical theater competition that year, and I placed third in the Southern region for the classical voice competition. I was also part of the Louisiana Youth Orchestra for 2020 and 2021. So I should mention that even though I'm a student at Stanford OHS, because it is an online program for students from anywhere, I live in Louisiana. So I was the fourth cellist in 2020, and then I became the assistant principal cellist during my senior year. And in 2021, I competed in a concerto competition as a classical voice soloist and won, so I was able to perform. Okay, so getting into my extracurriculars, these included taking piano lessons from 2008 to the present, studying violin for nearly a decade, and then later I ended up switching to cello when I started high school. I study voice with a professor emeritus from Louisiana State University, or LSU, and I have done so since 2017. I'm also a dancer, and I've taken ballet, jazz, tap, and hip-hop classes since 2018. I also took acting classes from 2021 and on. Okay, getting into my work in nonprofits. So I work at the nonprofit Dear Asian Youth, and I've worked there since my sophomore year, since August 2020, because I was just really eager to involve myself in the political atmosphere that was happening at the time and being able to do something. So I started as a literature team editor from 2020 to 2021, and I was also a featured writer during my first couple months there. Then I became the deputy editor-in-chief for the communications team in the literature department in 2021. I'll also include the link to Dear Asian Youth in case anyone is interested in checking out the nonprofit's work or joining. The other nonprofit work I did was during the election of 2020. I worked as a student phone banker for a nonprofit called Blue Future. So I worked as a phone banker during my Thanksgiving break in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Iowa. As you can see, a lot of the work that I have done, or the extracurriculars I've done, or clubs I lead, are all related to general majors that I put down. So a lot of work with music, a lot of work with writing, political science, and East Asian studies, just in terms of having all four of those things sort of intersecting in my life in various ways. Some other stuff I put down was work and volunteer experience I had, because I've worked as a volunteer math tutor, voice teacher, and violin teacher for the past few years. Okay, I'm almost done with this resume. The last thing that I put down were summer programs that I had the privilege to attend. So in 2016, I attended a young writers camp with Duke University. Then in 2017, I went to Stage Door Manor Performing Arts Training Center, which is a musical theater program. In 2018, I attended Princeton University's Summer Institute for the Gifted program. And then in 2019, I was invited to attend a program called A Summer with the Juilliard School, which was hosted in Geneva, Switzerland, and I participated as a young artist voice major. The last summer program I did was the summer before my senior year, and it was with Interlochen Arts Camp. It was a great experience academically. So I was accepted into the musical theater program and the voice and opera performance program in 2020 before the pandemic hit, and I ended up deferring my admission until the following year when I could attend, and I attended as a voice and opera performance student. Okay, that was a ton of information about GPA and extracurriculars. I want to spend just some time talking about my applications, my common applications, and my essays. Personally, for me, because I'm a writer and I love writing, the supplements and the main essay weren't something that was incredibly challenging for me. So I was really lucky because this part of the application was not too horrible for me. For Columbia University, because I applied as an English major, I decided to specifically apply as a creative writing major. As a music major, I submitted my regular application, and then each school of music, if it's not a conservatory, then each school of music within a university had an additional music application I had to complete. On the other side, at Columbia University and I believe Northwestern University, I had to submit a creative writing supplement or creative writing portfolio. Columbia, for instance, only asks for about 5 pages of something you've written, and it can be pretty much anything. It can be an excerpt of a novel, a short story, poetry, things like that. So I had a lot of writing to pick from and to submit from, so I ended up submitting just 5 pages of an excerpt of a novel I'd been working on as a junior. Now, the academic applications on my Common app, they were all pretty similar. They all had pretty similar ideas, they were asking pretty similar things, and it was just a matter of being able to figure out what really drew me to certain schools, why I could see myself there, and why I liked it. I would say that the most specific application that I completed from a university was Columbia's. Now, this is because Columbia's application, I believe, has 6 different supplements. By comparison, I think Northwestern only asked me for 1 supplement and University of Michigan only asked me for 2. But Columbia's are very creative. The first few questions ask about your favorite books that you read in school and your favorite books you read outside of school, things that you're interested in, things that spark your curiosity, including, different types of books, websites, YouTubers, music, things like that. So I had a lot of fun filling out this application. So my last piece of advice for essay writing is make it be unique to yourself. Don't try to write whatever it is you think you should be writing or what everyone else is writing. I think honesty is the most important thing on this application. This is because people who are reading your application, they want to get to know you as a person. And I think that they can often see through you if you're coming up with something only because you think it's what they want to see. Just be really honest about what's interesting to you and what makes you you. With that, I will conclude this video. I hope that this information was helpful to any rising seniors or anyone watching this video, and I hope that it didn't seem overwhelming. I know it sounds like an enormous task to complete, but I also know that you can get through it and you can do it and have amazing results. Once again, please don't watch this video and think that just because I did this and this and that you have to do the exact same thing or you're not going to get into the college. A big part of the college application process, I think, is having the right luck. So when you're working on your applications, just try to focus on yourself, your own high school journey, and what makes you stand out, and try not to worry too much about what other people are doing or writing about or saying on their application. If anyone would like more information about my college app process, whether it's more information about anything I said today, or about my conservatory applications, or about essay writing tips, then let me know and I would be happy to give more detail on this. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Bye!